That beat going crazy.
Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and today I've got my baby VFR400 out. This is the first bike that I've ever built, first bike I actually showcased on my channel, and I've now been riding this since February. I think I finished this bike, and I just want to give you guys my thoughts on the bike so far. I've taken it out today. I haven't ridden it, I would say, for about a month or more, about that, yeah, maybe. Obviously you guys saw on the channel I've got the ZX7R, so the last week I've been riding that. I've got the VFR400, which I got about a month ago as well, so I've been riding that as well. So I haven't ridden this too much, but I've taken it out today, give it a little bit of a clean up, and yeah, I got it out. So having it out today has reminded me why I love this bike so much. But now also, because I've been riding, especially I've been riding the Ninja this week, like even up till last night, and jumping on this today, it's funny jumping on a totally different type of bike. I mean, obviously it's about half the power of the Ninja, but it's still a lot of fun because it's such a small, light bike. Having 60 bhp is still really fun. It accelerates really well. One thing that was the main thing I would say that I noticed different was the rear brake. I know people say the VFR rear brakes are bad, but compared to the Ninja, they are terrible. So that was the main thing, just going from the Ninja and applying the back brakes on this, they're just really bad. But other than that, the bike is just really fun to ride. The front brakes make up for it. They're really sharp. They stop the bike really quick. Obviously it's a light bike as well, so it doesn't have a lot of problems stopping. But basically, yeah, this is the bike. You guys saw, if you haven't seen, check on my channel. I've got a full rebuild video of this, as well as all the videos of the progress of this build, for me building it from the bolts upwards. And as I say, it's my first build. So a couple of things for anybody looking to own one of these. If you live in London, you're gonna have to pay ULEZ, so that's the first thing. So it's cost me £12.50 every time I take it out. You can get it tested, and from my understanding, it's sort of like a guarantee pass. It's about £180. I haven't actually done it yet, just because I'm just not unorganized enough to do it, but I need to take it and get it done. Paid £180, and then hopefully I shouldn't have to pay to ride the bike again. So that's one thing. But based on it being a smaller bike, filtering through traffic, having sort of a good power for London roads, it's really a perfect bike to ride around. I would say motorways, I did enjoy doing with it. I did 200 miles on the motorway, 100 miles either way, and it's just not fun on the motorway. It's too much of a light bike for windy motorways. So I mean, I hate motorways riding anyway, but compared to the Ninja, the Ninja is a very heavy bike, so probably at least a third heavier than this, or probably even more. So it's probably better suited for motorways. But yeah, I'll show you a couple of the things, remind you guys a couple of things, what I've done and how they're holding up. So I did have the wheels powder coated. I've had one little issue with the rear rail for some reason. I'm not sure if it's to do with the heat, but here in the paint I've had some sort of, it's sort of like a crack in the paint, and obviously you can see the line because it's got dirt in it at the moment, brake dust. So when I clean it, you sort of don't really notice it, but for some reason there's a little bit of a crack in the paint there. That's it. The front wheels, there's no blemishes on them at all, so they've held up really well. So that's that. A couple of things I would have done differently. For instance, you can see these bolts here, which they've got some sort of light surface corrosion, which I'm probably going to just polish out. But I did wire wheel these when I took them apart. When I did wire wheeled quite a lot of the parts, and in hindsight they would have got zinc plated. So that's what I'd probably do in future, go the extra mile, zinc plate them. So that was that. Same thing with a few of these bits, you can see just a very light sort of surface rust. Again, I could polish this out with a Dremel, which is probably what I will do, but in future zinc plating them would have worked out better. You can see the same thing here again on here, light surface rust on these. So that's something that I've learned. It's not a lot of places, but a couple of the bolts that I had polished and so on. Some of the other ones I'd polished, like these ones, they're still looking really good. But in future I would probably go for zinc plating. So the Chinese fairings, which is what I put on these, have held up well. I have done a repair because I had a drop. You guys might have seen that in our video. I did get them repaired, and that worked out really good. One of the issues with this tank, which is this is actually a tank cover. I'll see if I can show you guys from the other side. Is there's some sort of very minor crack in here, stress cracks in it here, because it was quite tight when I'd get it on, and they sort of had a very few tiny ones. Again, these are things that you have to look up really close to. In the sun you can see possibly some sort of defects in the paint here. In the bright sun I can see it. I don't normally notice that. Also, the paint is, in my opinion, it sort of, maybe they'll say it chips easily. It's not the greatest paint in the sense of maybe the lacquers. I feel like they didn't give enough lacquer coats. But I mean, I've had it for a couple of months, and to be honest, I had one or two little nicks, and I just used a touch-up pen, and you couldn't tell where those were. So, you know, overall, I would give it 7 out of 10. The fairings, I would give it. What else have we got here? I mean, the bike has been running good since the build. There's one or two little issues I've had. One of them was the fan. Sorry about that, I got Harley just pulled up. One of them was the fan wasn't coming on, and I just found out that was just a grounding issue. So that's really was my fault, but I figured it out, and that was probably the last time I rode it. But I've got it fixed since then. So what I did is, one of the bolts, you can't see, but one of the bolts in the radiator grounds the radiator to the chassis, and that's how you get the ground for the fan switch. So I was having issues with getting that bolt to ground, so I just basically made a cable from that bolt to the body, and I grounded it that way. So that's sorted out that issue. And yeah, I'm trying to think of what other issues I've had with the bike. Really, I had the rectifier. Go on me. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, cheers, man. Is it? It is, yeah. Oh. Yeah, it is. Cheers, man. Thank you. So there's a rectifier at the back here, which again, don't get any Chinese stuff off eBay when it comes to electrics. I had heard that they weren't any good, and that failed on me. So I've got an OEM second-hand one here on there now, and so far so good. So that rectifier, because it failed, it basically caused my battery to overcharge. It blew up the battery with a big bang, dried it up basically, and took out a couple of bulbs as well in the process, and took out my CDI unit for the ECU. So that was a kind of costly mistake. As I said, I got an OEM one there, I got a new battery, and I got another CCU in there. And as soon as I started the bike, it was back up again, running lovely. So you probably noticed I was just getting complimented by the bike, by the guy in the Harley. And this is one of the things with this bike. If you have this bike, you will get a lot of attention. When I pull up to car meets or bike meets like here, before I get off the bike, people come up to me, oh, I love that bike, oh, lovely bike, oh, I rode one of those back in the day, and just a lot of love for this bike. People love the condition of it because they haven't seen one in such a long time. Since I've been riding this bike, which is since February, I've been to quite a lot of bike places, and I'm still yet to meet one. So they're showing you how rare these are. There's just a couple of bikes that are just getting rarer and rarer. I've seen two CBR 400s, which is sort of like the cousin of this bike. Very similar, but got its differences. It's an inline 4, where this is a V4. Doesn't have a single-sided swing arm. Similar sort of lights and so on, and a couple of other features that are the same, like the wing mirrors are the same, and a couple of bits like that. But to me, just doesn't have. This has the edge over the CBR. So I've not seen one of these. Same thing with the ZX 7R as well. Since I've been riding, I haven't seen a ZX. But this gets more attention still than the ZX does, and I think just because of the condition of it as well. And you know, it is a beautiful bike, so that's one thing. You will get a lot of attention for this. I don't plan on selling this anytime soon, and you know, I believe the prices are going up, and they will probably continue to go up. So if you want to get one of these, you probably want to start looking for one now, or try and find one that needs work if you can, and do like what I did, do the work yourself. But yeah, this is just wanted to do a sort of like a review of the bike, and just give you guys an update on it. She's running really nice. I had her out today, as I said, and jumping on it straight away, it just reminded me why I love this bike so much. So this is my VFR400 R. So hope you guys like this video. If you do, let us know what you think of the bike. Have you got one? Have you ridden one? Do you like these bikes or not? Let me know, and we'll catch up on the next video. Take care. Thanks for watching. Going crazy.